Our Lady's secret revealed and unnoticed by many. Our Lady's apparitions over the centuries have left a deep mark on both Catholic spirituality and society. In the last 150 years, three particular events stand out: La Salette, Lourdes and Fatima, each carrying crucial messages that echo to this day. In these manifestations, the Virgin Mary transmitted secrets that reflect her deep concern for the sinful state of humanity and its spiritual consequences. The apparition of La Salette in 1846 was particularly notable not only for the prophetic message it brought, but also for the controversy it stirred up within the Church itself. Melanie Calva and Maxime Ingirot, the seers, reported Our Lady's visible distress at human sins and her predictions of imminent punishment for the world and the Church. The message of La Salette met with significant resistance within the Church due to its dark content and predictions of divine disasters and punishments. This opposition was exacerbated by the fact that the seers, Melanie and Maxime, were children from humble backgrounds, which raised doubts about the authenticity of their revelations and generated heated debates between clergy and faithful. These events not only challenged the established structures of the Catholic faith, but also shed light on profound questions of faith, sin, and redemption, echoing beyond their historical time to influence contemporary spirituality and understanding of heavenly messages. The apocalyptic interpretation of the secrets of La Salette provoked a mixture of disquiet and fear, leading many to initially reject these controversial messages. Despite the initial controversies, the Church ended up officially recognizing the apparition of La Salette in 1851, although persecution and questioning persisted for years. As time passed, it became increasingly clear that the chastisements prophesied at La Salette were coming true. Global events such as wars, natural disasters, and moral crises seemed to be aligned with the prophecies revealed. This phenomenon led to a reconsideration and greater acceptance of the messages within the Church, demonstrating that, in the end, God's will prevails. Near the French village of La Salette, Our Lady appeared to two young shepherds, Melanie and Maxime, entrusting them with a secret that they were to reveal in 1858, which was fulfilled as instructed. Little known at the time, in the same year she appeared in Lourdes under the title of the Immaculate Conception, unleashing a continuous sequence of graces and miracles that continue to this day. The Virgin Mary is portrayed as weeping for the sins that offend God, profoundly impacting the local community, which responded with penance, fervent prayer, respect for Sunday, and avoidance of blasphemy, resulting in mass conversions. The site witnessed numerous healings and spiritual transformations, leading to the construction of a shrine that has become a central point of devotion. La Salette transcends not only its historical time, but also continues to resonate with prophecies about end-time events and the second coming of Christ, offering a message of warning and hope to all who seek spiritual understanding and redemption. Despite Monsignor Brouillard's approval of the apparition in 1851, following the intervention of Pope Pius IX, who received the secret of the shepherds that year, the Church faced strong internal opposition. Many bishops and priests vigorously questioned the validity of the apparition, especially in a context marked by Karl Marx's Communist Manifesto in 1848, which promoted a revolutionary message against Christian civilization as Marxism gained global influence. The Virgin's message, revealed in 1846, only achieved widespread dissemination in more recent times, further complicating its initial acceptance. The young pastors, Melanie and Maxime, suffered severe persecution from the clergy, reflecting the seriousness of the accusations they brought to light about the situation within the Church. The successor to the bishop who approved the apparition declared the end of the era of apparitions and the beginning of a new period for the Church, discrediting the seers and their messages. This decision made their lives even more difficult, eventually forcing them to leave La Salette. Bishop Noliac, who succeeded Monsignor Brouillard, met a tragic and disturbing end, dying in mysterious circumstances. His successor, Monsignor Fava, distorted the messages received from La Salette and also faced a dramatic fate. At Monsignor Fava's funeral, the coffin fell inexplicably, causing fear among those present. Melanie, one of the seers, predicted the imminent death of the Archbishop of Paris, who ridiculed her, which came true just 3 weeks later during the Franco-Prussian War. Opposition to the La Salette messages continued to grow, culminating in 1915 with a ban by the Holy Office on discussing or publishing any information on the subject. These complex events and subsequent historical developments illustrate the deep divisions and controversies surrounding the Marian apparitions and their interpretations within the Catholic Church. The message of La Salette, which was initially approved and later confirmed by the Pope, proved to be as prophetic as it was controversial over the centuries. The secret associated with the apparitions was lost in the Vatican archives for more than 150 years and was only rediscovered in 1999. Melanie, one of the seers, prophesied that, despite the temporary oblivion of Our Lady's words, her message would resurface at the appointed time and triumph in the good souls to whom it was addressed. But what exactly did Our Lady communicate? Why did she meet with so much resistance? She spoke of a deep moral crisis among priests, an apostasy within the Church itself, and warned that many of them were losing their faith. Our Lady criticized those who did not live according to the teachings and expectations of their sacred vocations, highlighting the lack of reverence and impiety in liturgical celebrations. She also denounced the excessive attachment to riches and honors, which corrupted those who were supposed to be examples of virtue. In addition, the Virgin Mary warned that the sins of those consecrated to God cried out to heaven for vengeance, indicating the urgent need for repentance and spiritual renewal within the Church to avoid severe punishment. These words, deeply critical and prophetic, met with significant resistance among some sectors of the Church, reflecting internal divisions over issues of morality and spiritual leadership. The rediscovery and re-evaluation of the secret of La Salette in modern times has reignited debates about its meaning and continuing relevance, inspiring a renewed call for conversion and authentic living of the faith among Catholics. Indeed, Our Lady's messages over the centuries have been marked by prophecies that have often been fulfilled in impressive ways. After the initial warning at La Salette, significant events followed as a kind of response to unanswered heavenly appeals. At the end of 1846, devastating diseases ravaged the working classes, followed by a terrible famine that ravaged Europe in 1847, claiming the lives of approximately 1 million people, with 100,000 deaths in France alone. The spread of cholera, which affected many children, was also predicted by Our Lady. In addition to these calamities, Mary's predictions extended to the political scene, including the end of the Second French Republic, the Franco-Prussian War, and the uprising of the Paris Commune in 1871. These historical events follow a revealing pattern in Our Lady's messages. When humanity does not respond to her appeals, severe punishments unfold in frightening ways. Our Lady of Fatima, for example, warned of an imminent Second World War if there was no repentance and devotion to her Immaculate Heart. Unfortunately, her predictions came true, and humanity witnessed the devastation of that war. In addition, she warned of the errors in Russia that would spread throughout the world if it were not consecrated. These ideological errors continue to profoundly influence society and even the Church itself to this day. In Akita, the messages to Sister Agnes Sasagawa reinforced these warnings, highlighting a possible imminent divine punishment for all of humanity if there was no repentance and moral improvement. These prophecies echo as urgent calls to conversion and spiritual renewal, seeking to avoid more severe consequences for humanity in the face of its persistent lack of response to heavenly appeals. The message you have shared is profound and prompts reflection on current times and the crises we face, both in the world and within the Church. From the apparitions at La Salette to Our Lady's prophecies at Fatima and Akita, there is a continuous call to conversion, repentance, and spiritual renewal that, unfortunately, is often not fully heard. It is undeniable that humanity has faced significant challenges, including global conflicts, technological advances that can be used for destruction, devastating pandemics such as 2020, and intense political and social tensions in various parts of the world. These events reflect a scenario of global crisis and a growing lack of peace and stability. Within the Church, we observe divisions and controversies, with internal conflicts between clergy and laity, debates about doctrine and practice, and challenges related to fidelity to traditional teachings in an ever-changing world. Many question whether there is a crisis of spiritual and moral leadership, with some voices being silenced while others seem to align themselves with agendas contrary to the principles of the Catholic faith. To overcome this crisis, a return to the essence of the gospel and Christ's teachings is crucial. This includes a deep spiritual renewal among the faithful, a renewed commitment to holiness and social justice, and an ecclesial leadership that is a beacon of truth and unity in the faith. Prayer, penance, and a sincere search for God's will are fundamental to restoring peace both within the Church and in the world. The message of La Salette, like other Marian apparitions, reminds us of the importance of listening to Our Lady's calls for conversion and reconciliation with God. May these reflections inspire us to act with wisdom and discernment in such challenging times. Thank you for watching this video. Leave your like and subscribe to the Living Hope channel on YouTube. Activate notifications by clicking on the bell to receive other publications.